So female-led comic book movies. They've gone from this
Catwoman.
to this. I say they've come a really, really long way. So Wonder Woman, she finally gets her own movie. We've seen tons of movies from Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Never Wonder Woman. I don't know why. It's a long time coming, but it's finally here. And I am so glad it is because Wonder Woman is a really good time at the movies. So the story takes place during World War I. The movie starts off on this magical, mystical island where all these Amazonian women live. And it kind of gave me that feel of Hans Island from Enter the Dragon because you see these army of people being trained to be great warriors. You got women training in archery and swordplay and hand-to-hand combat. And I thought that was a really cool part of the story because they start off with showing Wonder Woman, whose real name is Diana, as a little girl watching all of these women, and she's looking up to them and wants to be like them and train to be a warrior like them as well. But for some reason, her mother, the Queen, is holding her back from learning that training because she wants to keep her safe from Ares, the god of war. But of course, you can't hold Wonder Woman back for long, so Jenny from Forrest Gump starts training her at night and in secret, kind of like Chi Kwan Chun did with Fu Sheng in Death Chambers, aka Shaolin Temple. And if you haven't seen that movie, you should go check it out. It's one of the best martial arts films out there. So Wonder Woman's getting trained in secret to be this great warrior. You see her grow up from being a little child to a teenager and to an adult. And this whole origin story really just really worked for me. The whole island was beautiful to look at. You have all these Amazonian women, they're all kicking ass, and this whole story that they've built around these people was really intriguing, and I wanted to see more of it actually. But one day you see a British pilot crashing into the ocean, and Wonder Woman goes down and saves him, and then of course he's crashing because there are Germans chasing after him, and they soon follow him to the island and then cause a little war on their beach. Now this is how Wonder Woman learns that the rest of the world is at war during World War I, and she wants to go out to the real world, leave her island, and help bring the world to peace. And that's where the movie goes from there. So one of the main highlights of Wonder Woman for me was the actors and the characters that they played and the chemistry that they all had. Gal Gadot, when she was first announced to be cast as Wonder Woman, there were a lot of doubters out there, a lot of haters, because people have only really known her from the Fast and the Furious movies. You know, she didn't really have to do much in those films besides look pretty, and then people were saying she had the wrong body type, she's too lean, too skinny, too tall, blah blah blah. And I have to say, then I kind of had my doubts as well, more so for her acting ability because again, she hasn't really displayed any kind of acting chops in those Fast and the Furious films. But I must say that Gal Gadot, hands down, star quality all over the place. As far as body type, she's definitely bulked up. She looks like a true Amazon warrior, so that there's no problem there. But she just has this charisma where she can definitely carry a film. I mean, we've already seen a taste of it in Batman v Superman, where she was probably one of the best, if not the best part of that movie, and it was just a matter of can she carry her own film, and she definitely can. And she does the humorous parts really well, she plays the dramatic parts really well, the action scenes are well done. And so Gal Gadot, kudos to you, great job. Wonder Woman, I hope you play her for a long, long time. And I have to give a lot of credit to Chris Pine because I don't think there are too many actors who would be willing to play what could be perceived as a second fiddle role to Wonder Woman. But Chris Pine, he also displays major star quality. I mean, this guy has played Captain Kirk, man. He's a man, so you know he can bring it. He brings his charm, his charisma, his humor as well. And him and Gal Gadot, they just had this really great chemistry that is just portrayed throughout the movie, and it's really one of the best things about the film. And his character, I must say, it doesn't really play that second fiddle that you would think he would. He's not that dude in distress where Wonder Woman has to continuously bail him out, as you would probably see in a male-led comic book movie with a female lead, where they're always in some kind of trouble and the male superhero like Superman or Spider-Man always has to save them. That's not the case here. Chris Pine, he's integral to the storyline. He's not there just to be a plot device and take Wonder Woman from location to location. His storyline is very important to the film. He plays a British spy who introduces Wonder Woman into the whole World War I scenario. So he's very important to the film, and by no means is he a second fiddle to Wonder Woman. So I thought that really worked well as well. But besides the characters and the strong performances, the story overall just had a really fun feel to it. I just thought it was very entertaining. There were just the right amount of humor which worked really well. The dramatic moments were very believable. and the tension and the stakes were very real. The film's not perfect. There were a few minor flaws to it. First of all, Chris Pine, I don't know what was going on with his character where he's supposed to be playing this British spy, and yet he speaks in a very American accent throughout the film, so I didn't quite get that, and I don't think there was an explanation for that. And also, Wonder Woman sees Chris Pine crash and then saves him, and then when the Germans come chasing after him, she automatically defends him and fights the Germans and kills them. Now I was thinking, what if it was a German pilot that landed first, and she would say the German pilot, and then the British were coming to attack the German pilot? Would she have killed the British army just as she did the German army? Probably. How does she know who's right and who's wrong? So I thought that was kind of a flaw in the storyline there. And also, it kind of falls victim to a lot of the same things that was wrong with Batman v Superman, in the sense that there is just a ton of CGI. Some of it worked and some of it was just very blatantly overdone. Especially the last fight scene. I'm not going to give it away as to who's fighting who, but it reminded me so much of the last fight scene in Batman v Superman, where the three heroes are fighting Doomsday, and you just had this big wide shots of two characters going at it, and just all these CG effects going on around it. It kind of threw me out of the film just for a little bit, where I'm like, I've seen it before, I've seen it in a DC movie before, I've seen it with this character before, so I was kind of hoping that they would bring something different to the action scenes. And the action scenes overall, there were 4 of them throughout the film, I believe, and they're kind of tame. They're well done, they're well executed, and I like the little mix of slow-mo to fast-mo, and that was pretty cool, although probably a little bit overdone. But the action scenes are nothing to write home about, but they're fun enough, the highlight being the battle in the No Man's Land, which was featured very heavily in the trailer, and you've probably seen some of those clips. And that's where Wonder Woman brings out her sword, her shield, her lasso, and that was probably the best fight scene in the film, and it worked really well. But despite the pedestrian action scenes, director Patty Jenkins, man, she really impressed me with this movie, because I only known her for directing that film Monster, which was that lesbian serial killer film starring Charlize Theron quite a few years back, which was a very small, story-based, character-driven film, and didn't have the big budget extravaganza feel of Wonder Woman. So I was kind of curious how she would pull that off, not having worked previously with big budget type films. But man, she did a really great job with the storytelling, the pacing, the editing. It was just very well done, technically excellent. So Patty Jenkins, I give her mad props for this film. Wonder Woman overall is a very entertaining film. I think DC is finally getting there as to trying to match their tone and the story and the actors and the characters. Wonder Woman had a great origin story, great characters, great performances. Action scenes were okay, CGI overdone, but I had a really fun time with it. The humor was well done, the dramatic moments were well done, and I can't wait to see more of Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman from me gets a 8 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching. If you like my review, please give me a thumbs up on my video. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the movie. And come back next week for another movie review on MC on Film.